in the end, Daniel did hurt Stephen. That's just the facts of the matter. The fact is, just regardless of opinions, regardless of perspectives, points of views, the fact is Daniel hurt his friend. Hey guys, Holy Astronaut here. So I'm just gonna get right into it. Anyone who follows Danplan or knows the YouTube channel Danplan, one very important, one of my favorite person in Danplan, Stephen, had announced on January 4th that he was leaving Danplan. Well, he already left Danplan. And that's what this video is about. I just want to let my thoughts out on the issue. I've been seeing a lot of people trying, like, forcing Daniel, saying they want him to say something about this. They want his own video. They want his own side of the story. And I feel like it's also, I guess, for some sense of sensibility to be brought into the mix, it's important to have some of the fans tell Danplan as a channel, the members, how we feel about the issue. Just for context, like, we're not here just to hate people. It's not just a mob. It's like we actually feel a lot of emotion about this. Believe it or not, it's crazy. They're like celebrities on the internet. But so I'm gonna cover pretty much how I feel about the situation, Steven's decision, which I completely agree with his decision. I 100% agree with it because it's something I would do if I was in his position. And also how I feel about Daniel now. I have, just as a summary, I don't hate Daniel. I have no negative feelings towards, well, not no anger towards him or anything like that. I'm just really sad because I've kind of been in a situation like Daniel and Stephen have been in, and it just sucks because I feel like Daniel didn't mean any harm or didn't know just how he had affected his friend in such a negative way, and that's just really sad. I'm gonna get into that later, but first, I want to talk about, just to fill some people in or show my understanding of the situation, why Stephen left. I have some notes down here if I keep looking down, but yeah, why Stephen left. So first of all, Stephen had been a part of Danplan for 5 years, but he wasn't like part of, like, when Daniel and Hosa came up with the idea of Danplan. He wasn't part of that. Hosa just later on invited him into Danplan, and he's been a part of it for 5 years. To the fandom, he is a super important member of Danplan. He's on the merch. It's like how we as a fandom know Danplan is Daniel, Stephen, and Hosa. It's like, do you want to define Danplan? It's these three dudes who talk about some really interesting stuff and put themselves in some really interesting scenarios. Their relationship is so great. Their friendship is amazing. And they have other friends too who join them sometimes, Anne and Jay. And they're bringing guests and other friends that they have as guests, like Joe Cat. So it's kind of, that's just how I feel like I'm very certain the rest of the fandom understood Danplan as a channel. It was three friends, Daniel, Stephen, and Hosa. So we all saw Stephen as a very important member of Danplan. Like, I feel like everybody else would assume he had a really significant role and share in Danplan because he's on the merch. I have my Knives Are Too Informal shirt, which is the first ever merch I have ever bought from a YouTuber. Danplan is the first YouTube channel I ever bought merch from, and I literally started watching them like 4 months ago. And that's because I just love the dynamic, but most of all, I loved Steven. He's what, to me, he was like the mood maker of Danplan. Like, he set the vibe of Danplan. There was this one video, it's kind of an old video of Danplan where they were talking about, like, what would you do if you, like, could, like, never die or something, and they got really philosophical, and that was because of Steven. And then it was like, why do we always get so like sad or something. And I'm like, oh, Stephen gets philosophical sometimes, and we love that. I know one of the most impactful things Stephen said to a lot of fans of Danplan in one of their videos, the dating advice video, was to love yourself first and foremost. That really, like, I am 22 years old, and I already love myself a lot. Like, I think my ego matches Stephen's, but hearing that from someone else made me feel kind of validated. Some people would call me really conceited or something, but he said it in such a very, it's so true. He said his advice in such a true and hopeful way that it really, I see a lot of younger Danplan viewers, a lot of younger people in the fandom who are teenagers, and you know, when you're a teenager, you're so insecure about everything. You're so insecure about yourself, and you're finding yourself. And they said like Stephen's words totally impacted and changed their lives, how they view themselves, and I feel like that's so cool that he could have that impact. And I know a lot of people who love Stephen love him because of that video, the dating advice video. And this is what he said, and he just gets pretty philosophical sometimes, and sometimes it's pretty pessimistic, sometimes it's just really realistic, and you gotta hear that. That's just an example of how he kind of set the tone of Danplan. Like, Danplan is so funny, random, edgy, and I feel like those are all Stephen. He's the mood maker. He makes things lively, he makes things not lively when things get really edgy. He makes things funny with his chaotic energy when he just like, I'm gonna go stab Hosa like 6,000 times. He bounces off like the other guests so well. He's agreeable, he's creative with his character. He's just never, it's never a boring moment, and Stephen is always there. We expect for a Danplan video we're going to have Stephen and Hosa along with Dan. It's like a Danplan video without Stephen is like a Danplan video without Dan hosting it. Then it's not Danplan, it's just a bunch of guys talking. It's like, I don't know. So as a fandom, I think we could all agree that we all saw Stephen as very integral and integral. I don't know how to pronounce that word. English is not my first language, but we saw him as a very integral member of Danplan. But apparently, I guess Dan did not see it that way, and that's where the issue arises. So Stephen put in his video, his leaving video, which I'll link in the description, that one of the reasons he decided that it was just time to part ways with Danplan was that the work that he put into his character as Stephen was not seen as work by Daniel. That's really messed up to me. Because I felt like Stephen was having a lot of fun, but I also on Danplan, which is what made us as viewers have fun. But also he actually put in work to make his character so engaging to the viewers and so funny. There was not a boring time with him. Like, I'm not saying like any other person on Danplan is boring. No, not at all. I'm just saying that Stephen is so dynamic, and I feel like that's just that you gotta put in work for that. You gotta think about that. You gotta, like, he was dedicated to Danplan, that he thought about it enough to just create his personas and make them so enjoyable. Like, honestly, I don't think, okay, I don't want to give any other member, well, any, I guess to Daniel only Hosa and him are members, but, or shareholders of Danplan, but I don't want to give any other person on Danplan non-credit for what they do, because I'm sure they all have fun, I'm sure they all think about their roles in Danplan, but I feel like out of everybody else, Stephen really wanted to make him being there worthwhile to the viewers. I felt that, and I feel like that's why he, I believe, is the most popular member of Danplan, just based on the amount of edits he has, the amount of views the Stephen dedicated video or videos on YouTube have. There's a video of Stephen's laughs alone that has like over 100,000 views. There's like 3 videos of just Stephen being chaotic for 53 seconds, Stephen stabbing everybody for a minute, like Stephen's funniest moments has almost 500k views. No other, I think it actually has surpassed that, but no other like Danplan member has as much like love towards them by the fans as Stephen did. And that's because he worked really hard to make his character so easy to engage with any other person who came on Danplan. With Hosa, especially, the characters were just complete opposites of each other. They meshed so well. With anything that Dan threw at them, he would make it work to be creative, new, exciting, and fun, and chaotic, and it just and set the tone, you know? Like we would expect a Danplan video to be chaotic and silly and fun and edgy, and those are all Steven. I'm not saying that Steven is Danplan, but he's that important that he set what us as viewers, or at least me as a viewer, would describe as a Danplan video to somebody who does not know Danplan. I would say, oh, watch Danplan. They are chaotic. They are so funny. They're they're just great. It's just really entertaining to watch. I feel like most of that came from Steven and how he coordinated his character with other people on Danplan. For Daniel to not see that as work or appreciate it is really shocking to me. Steven also mentioned that his influence on Danplan was unnoticed by Daniel and played down by Daniel. Like the amount of subscribers they got from 0 to 2 million. Steven only apparently to Daniel only had a 1% part in that, which is absolutely ridiculous. If you would hear that as a fan, we'd be like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like, what? I feel like if Steven wasn't on Danplan would be a very it would be a pretty standard YouTube channel. It would be kind of boring, actually. Like, yes, all the crazy characters on Danplan are so interesting on their own. I love them. I could rank my faves on Danplan, but I'm not going to because that's not what this video is about. But I love them. But I feel, as I mentioned before, Steven kind of set the tone of Danplan. So to say that he had a 1% influence on Danplan is ridiculous. It's actually kind of funny. It's like how disconnected are you from the channel and the fan base for you to think that? That's kind of crazy. But yeah, and Steven also mentioned that he wasn't viewed as an integral member of Danplan. He asked Daniel how he could increase his share in Danplan, and Daniel told him straight up that he doesn't have a share and that he's not a member because that's why he doesn't have a share. He's an employee, and that's really fucked up because like, why? If he's not considered a member of Danplan and he has no share, why is he on the merch? Why am I wearing a Steven shirt right now? Why do we see Daniel, Host, and Steven on the t-shirts they have? Like, that is Danplan. So exactly how do you define the channel then? Like, that's the question I kind of have for Daniel, that if he does ever choose to address this, like, I would be really happy if he answered that. Like, how would he describe Danplan as a channel if Steven isn't a member of it and if Steven doesn't have a share in it? Like, as a fan, I would describe Danplan as Daniel, Steven, and Hosa, but I don't understand. Like, that makes sense to me. That's what's shown in the merch. That's what's shown in the artworks. That's shown everywhere. I guess he would understand this, but like he engages with fans enough to see the fan made content. So like, yeah, and so like, even after Steven put in a lot of work after he had argued with Daniel about this, he decided, okay, I'm gonna put in work to show Daniel that my character is an integral like member. It's like he's important to Danplan. So he did, and you can see that he just made his character so dynamic and so wonderful. I love, even like, I would find myself watching their lives, their like vlog videos, and just rewatching Steven because he's so funny and chaotic and so interesting, and especially in their vlogs. Like, he's such a great, like, I don't understand how Daniel can miss that. So, but Steven put in work to make his character even more enjoyable and impactful, even though he was in like this unappreciative environment and this unappreciated atmosphere. He put in that work, and even so, after 9 months, Daniel still did not consider him an integral member of Danplan who had an impactful, like, I guess, relationship with Danplan. Daniel didn't just didn't see him as that. And I'm not saying that Daniel is a bad person because he didn't see him as that. I just think it's really sad that he didn't see him as that. He didn't see Steven as important enough to the channel, because it's like, then who do you think makes your channel enjoyable? Like, does he think only Hosa and him make your channel enjoyable? Like, does he think we as fans come there for only him and Hosa? Like, does he think we subscribe for only him and Hosa? That Stephen has almost no part to play in why we as viewers would subscribe to the channel? I just don't understand exactly his thinking or thought process, and I hope if he wants to that he would elaborate on that more, because that kind of thought process, that in disregard of his friend, well, not an ex-friend, and in disregard of, I guess, the fans and how much the fans enjoyed Steven and how we saw him as an integral member of Danplan, it caused a lot of pain in the end. Like, if I was Steven, I would not have stayed in that environment for as long as Steven did. Like, I cannot stay in an unappreciated environment like that even if I couldn't work, especially one that is set by someone who's supposed to be my friend. That's, I can't do it. So I guess I'm just weaker, but I can't do it. I would be so angry anytime I see. If I was Steven, I'd be so angry anytime I see Daniel. I wouldn't even want to go to recordings anymore. But he stuck it out, and I'm really proud of him for that. But I totally understand why he would lose motivation and drive and even happiness in being part of Danplan. I totally get that, because I know I would. I not only respect his decision, I'm 100% with him. I would do the same thing, but faster. I would have probably done it like 2 months after I had an initial argument with Daniel. Like, I wouldn't even want to prove myself to him, because I would just be like, no, fuck you. Like, how do you not see me as an integral member? What the fuck? Like, you think you did this all on your own? Like, what the hell? It's ridiculous. Although Daniel had put his, like, now ex-friend through this negative, emotional, exhausting journey, I don't view Daniel as a bad person. And that's mostly because, like, I don't think Daniel had any malicious intent towards Steven. I don't think that he was trying to hurt Steven in any way. I just think he was letting his thoughts and his views known to Steven, and then that caused a rift in their friendship, and that caused pain. I just don't think Daniel had a clear understanding on, like, just how his words and his disregard or lack of appreciation for Steven's work, like, actually affected Steven. Like, I don't think he understood just what a harmful impact his actions and demeanor towards Steven concerning the channel had on Steven. So the reason I'm giving Daniel this benefit of doubt is because, based on what Hosa and Steven has said about Daniel in the past, based on Daniel's actions that we've been glad to observe through his vlogs and his channel, based on his morality choices and the moral games they play, I don't think Daniel is a malicious person. I think he's actually someone who tries to go out of his way not to harm people. But that's just my view. I don't know him personally, but I'm just thinking, I don't think Steven or Hosa would have been friends with him or said such amazing things about him if he wasn't that kind of person. So I don't think he intentionally tried to hurt Steven or belittle Steven or disregard Steven's work or work ethic or his love for the channel. I just think he had a very skewed I can't say skewed because it's not my channel. It's more like, I just don't think he had a very, like, inline perspective of the channel, or the same perspective of the channel that Steven had. And letting those thoughts known and shown ended up causing this fallout. It's like, I feel like for Daniel to have the perspective or the thoughts that Steven is not important enough member in the channel, or not, I guess, just not a member of the channel, or important enough to have a share in Danplan, or impactful enough to Danplan's success. For Daniel to have the thoughts that to just downplay Steven, Daniel's role in Danplan like that and be absolutely unappreciative of all he's done for Danplan. I feel like he had to be really disconnected from his own channel and the fandom because it's, as I said before, it's super. I'm gonna say what Steven says because I watch his live streams all the time, but it's just super strange to me how Daniel could miss the fact that as a fandom, we absolutely love Steven. We love him. It's weird. How can you miss that? Does he not see the edits? Does he not see the fan art? Does he not see, like in the fan art when we're drawing the main members of Danplan, not one, when we're trying to draw all the members of Danplan, some fan art includes Anne, some fan art includes Jay, some includes Anne and Jay, some even include Jokat, but all the fan art when we're trying to depict Danplan has Daniel, Stephen, and Hosa. How do you not just, it's like, at least understand how the fans view Steven. And as in the fandom, we view him as a very integral and important member of Danplan. Like, at least just slide with that. Like, even if Daniel does not view Steven personally as an integral member, the fans do. So he should side with that. Like, side with your fans. They're the ones who make your channel. They're the ones we give the views. We tell you what we enjoy. Like, it's like marketing. Like, the consumer speaks, the producer provides. It's just like that. It's simple marketing. So it's kind of like weird. From all like logical points, I just don't understand how Daniel could like miss the fact that Steven is so important to the channel. Like, what? So that's his mistake. I feel like this was actually a mistake on Daniel's part. Like, I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt that he is not a malicious person. I personally do not think so. He's not a bad person at all. I feel like he accidentally hurt his friend. And it's irreparable, because if someone did that to me, I would not forgive them. Like, I would be like, oh, so this is who you are. Your true colors have shown. I understand. I cannot be your friend anymore. Totally understand Steven on that aspect. I would do the same. I don't care if it's an accident. Like, you don't see me as important. Like, what? I don't. But, like, forget you. But, girl, bye. But, like, logically speaking, like, I'm gonna remove emotion from this. Just logically speaking. From just like I'm gonna just economical standpoint. How do you totally miss the fact that this would ruin your channel if Steven left? Like, what? How can it be Danplan without Steven? Like, you just totally just blind to your fans. You're blind to what your channel is. Like does he watch the Danplan videos and be like, oh yeah, me and Hosa did a great job? Like, why? Like, I don't even know if Hosa is even included in Dan's idea of who has a share in Danplan. Like, what? Anyway, sucks for him that he made that mistake. I'm not wishing. I hope Danplan continues to thrive, because I know it's something Hosa likes to do. I love Hosa on my heart. I hope that this is not affecting him too negatively. But I personally feel like Daniel made a mistake and was totally blind to his channel and his fans, and this is the results, and it sucks. In the end, I wish this never happened, as I think many other people do too. But Danplan boys, they're all people. They're humans. People with faults. People with misunderstandings between them. People with differences in values and differences in definitions of work, ethic, and impact, apparently. They're just people. And this difference is just what caused this fallout. It all boils down, I personally feel like it all boils down to Steven and Daniel not seeing each other eye to eye on the situation. And I feel like Daniel was being stubborn about Steven's role. Like, there's no way he can completely ignore the fact that Steven had a very important part to play in this. There's absolutely no way. Like, I'm pretty sure there was one day that he was like, wow, Steven is just... I mean, I guess he has a point, but I'm not gonna tell him that. I'm not gonna consider him as, no, I've already made my stake and I'm sticking to it. Like, I feel as to me, that's the only logical explanation, because I just don't see any logic in Daniel not recognizing Steven as an integral member. Like, I just don't. Like, well, how are you marketing your channel then? Like, you marketed Steven as an integral member, but you don't see him as that. What? That doesn't make any sense. So I feel like maybe Daniel was just being stubborn, and his stubbornness causes his friend to be extremely hurt and cause a fallout of friendship, and probably cause a very big damage to his channel. I feel like Daniel was just blind to just what kind of channel Danplan was or is, because I don't know, Danplan isn't dead, but pretty much is dead to me. But I feel like he just was completely blind to what kind of channel Danplan is and just what made the channel enjoyable. I think he totally missed the point on the fact that each member, I'm gonna call them members even if Dan does not agree with that, but each member had a very important part to play in Danplan. And like, if some videos didn't have Jay in it, fine, we understand, we get it. Some videos don't have Anna in it, totally cool. Some videos don't have Joe Can in it, it's cool with me. Puffin isn't in one, okay. But Stephen, Husa, Daniel, if they're not in a video, we're gonna be like, what's going on? What is this? This is not a Danplan video. I feel like Daniel missed that. I mean, he marketed the channel as that, but still missed it at the same time. It's weird. In the end, Daniel did hurt Stephen. That's just the facts of the matter. The fact is, regardless of opinions, regardless of perspectives, points of views, the fact is Daniel hurt his friend and made his friend feel extremely unappreciated, extremely small, extremely unimportant, and extremely worthless. And to do that to a friend, that's kind of fucked up. That's effed up. And I am sorry that my boy Steven had to go through this. It sucks. He had to lose a friend in the end. It sucks, but that's life. Sadly. So yeah. Hopefully some kind of reconciliation can be made. Apologies need to be given. Hopefully it won't be as bad. Please support Steven's channel. Actually, Steven, please, if you want to, if you still find the content enjoyable, support Danplan, because Osa works hard on Danplan, and I do not want the channel to fail. So yeah, have a nice day, have a nice night, peace.